Hello, YouTube fans. Well, as you may know, I've had another dream. Okay, I had it December the 16th, 2012, which was Sunday morning, actually, because it woke me up out of my sleep. I had prayed to the Lord about this dream, and I mean, it was just so disturbing that I ran immediately. I mean, jumped out of bed and ran immediately over here to my desk to write the dream down. Okay. I named it Two Very Big Disasters Are Coming. Okay. Very big disasters. Okay. This dream started out as I was standing on the porch of my home, north of Oklahoma. Well, Tulsa, Oklahoma, when I saw a very big and wide tornado coming from the northeast. My husband and a guy who looked like a farmer were outside watching the same thing that I was seeing. You know, because at first it just seems like I was the only one standing there until I looked to the side and I saw this guy looking into the sky as I was with amazement, like, you know, and I could tell you to a T what his truck looked like and everything. And he was standing there, and it was a very nice country looking area, you know, very quiet, with a lot of hardworking people that live in that neighborhood. And then I saw my husband come out on the porch, and he looked, and we were all looking in the same direction of the northeast. Oh, this tornado was so big that it was far away but looked very close. Okay, you know how something is so big and it's like you got a magnifying glass to it, but it's exactly what we're looking at. And I just could not believe it. It was not in our particular spot. It was from the northeast, like states away or cities away, but yet the disaster looked like it was right here at home. This is how big it was. And when I was on the porch, I saw that other neighbors were looking also. I didn't watch television that day because we were out most of the day. I said to myself, why weren't we warned of this? And then an answer came. You know, the voice say, well, it was on the news as a warning, you know, to all. It was news. Put on the news for a warning. So it was announced to the world, you know, about this warning. So there was no reason why nobody should have known. Okay, so everyone, this was the news. I'm sorry, let me go back. This is the news to everyone, and that's why we didn't know. Okay. Now I'm reading my own chicken scratch here. Before we go back in the home, I see large amounts of water flowing on the street and into the neighborhood. And I noticed it was pouring down heavily. Then the scene changed to us role-playing, a family who were in the house doing what people do at home. The husband was asleep and the daughter was playing with her mother, and out of the blue, the little girl says, my papa is going to die. And the mother says on the inside, no, I can't do this by myself. She then realized her trust was in God and not man. Okay, so then the people we role played decided it would be to their advantage to see how things were going outside. How the dad carrying the little girl on his shoulders, and mom was walking close to a convenience store. They were walking, you know, they weren't that far from it, but they were walking, okay? And the dad had the daughter on the shoulders. Now, we had to be role-playing because they were a different nationality or race of of the people were a different race than I. And the little girl sitting on her dad's shoulder, and dad was walking with her and mom. You know, they didn't get in the car because the convenience store was pretty close, but they weren't walking to the store. It's just that I saw the convenience store in the store, in this dream. Then I looked to the west. Now, remember, there is a huge disaster in the form of a tornado coming from the northeast, okay? Now, it switches scenes again. Then I looked to the west and saw a very big tornado, much closer than the last one I seen coming from the northeast. Oh, just when I thought it couldn't be anything like what came from the northeast, this was real, real, real bad coming from the west. And I said, what? Okay, how could that tornado move from the northeast to the west? And I said, oh my gosh, this is two. So there is two disasters. One's coming from the northeast and one's coming from the west. So I guess it would be safe to say from the northeast coast and the west coast. I mean, that's the only way I can see it, because if from my direction when I see northeast, that's coming from, that's directly everything east of me, and it's up north, so it's northeast. And this was, when I seen this, it was, what was coming from the west was really, really bad. It was real bad, okay? It's not even, there's no way that I can describe it, okay? Okay, so there were large amounts of people coming to watch this huge disaster, okay? They are watching this disaster come. Now, we all know, well, I don't know if everybody know, but when you read the Word of God, if you really divide everything by the Word of God, then you know a whirlwind, as I have in some verses, I got some verses on the back of here when I'm done. A whirlwind is a disaster that is like in the form of God's anger. A whirlwind is like what we call a tornado. Okay, so it'd be safe to say this is the wrath of God, okay? And I mean, I felt like this is horrible, okay? People, this is really bad. This is real bad. I'm only displaying my emotions when I woke up. This is real, real bad. That's how I was feeling. So, I seen the people. They came in droves. I mean, people came and they started hanging out, you know, as if they were getting popcorn and ice cream and pop, and they're going to sit back and watch this thing. Now, what I found that was really, really weird is that you would sit back and watch your own demise. Because this thing was so close that it was right there where they were at. This wasn't far away as I saw as the northeast. This was like not that far. This was like almost like not that far from here. I mean, maybe a state, maybe even within the state, or maybe 2 states away. Northeast was like far away, but its disaster was so huge that it looked it close. But the west was like right up. I mean, it's like not even that far. You can pretty much, it's like right up on us from the west end, okay? Now, people were coming and sitting down, relaxing, playing. They were using their cell phones. They were taking pictures, and they were getting cameras out. And all the while that I was seeing this, you know, I mean, including the guy that had the little girl on his shoulder, he was on the phone, and his wife began to feel like something's really wrong here. Because this thing, people were watching this thing, it covered the whole sky from one end of the state to the other, and it was total black, total darkness. Okay, so she begins to back up, and people are just looking at this like it's a joke. They're mocking, and they're being scornful about the situation, and they're just mocking this, like if they're egging this disaster or this wrath to come upon them, you know, standing around like, you know, they are not in danger. This is just somebody else's danger. But it's right upon them. So, more people kept coming until you see masses of people, just people all over the place, as you would in New York City, looking at everything, and in Los Angeles, looking at everything. This city is with droves of people standing around watching. So, anyway, and as I was seeing this, I kept hearing, you know, like it was, the Spirit of the Lord was giving me some things like sexual perversion. And then when I saw them come in, people come in with their cell phones and cameras and stuff, I heard him say, high technology. High technology. That's what I kept hearing, high technology. So I was like, oh my God, they have made these things a god. I mean, it's just idolatry. So this is the wrath of God that they're looking at, and they're standing here watching their own demise, and they're having fun at it at the same time. All this was just horrible, and I was horrified at what I was seeing. You know, people did not have any respect for themselves or even the Spirit of the Lord. And I mean, this is just, you know, I don't know. But I'll move on. The people see it coming with darkness across the sky in a huge funnel that spreads miles across the states. This tornado suddenly stops, and it's quiet in the air. All you can hear is the people laughing and playing with one another, and kept hearing high technology is what I kept hearing. Yeah, I heard it again. Oh. As if the people made an idol out of those things. I kept seeing hearing sexual perversion at the core of the wrath. These both were mentioned to me as I seen these disasters in both directions. From the northeast, I was seeing at the core of it was sexual perversion, and I saw at the west coast sexual perversion and high technology. So high technology is man, I tell you, I heard these words 2 or 3 times, twice. And this is what's all going on in my dream all through it. I'm yelling to everyone to get out of the crowds and run. This thing is not gone. Because what this tornado did, this huge tornado, this blackness, I saw it coming from the west, the one that was coming from the west. I saw it coming with wrath, I mean strong anger and wrath, and tearing up everything in its path. And it's like it stopped directly in front of the people. And it dissipated. I mean, just like when you see a tornado just stop going. And then I knew with everything in my spirit, I knew that it was not over. I said, no, you know, I'm yelling to the people, this is not over. Please, people, please run. Please understand, this is not done. This disaster is not done. It is still going. Even though you can't see it, it is there invisibly. It is there. It's invisible. You may not be able to see it, but it's there. Well, everybody's mocking and laughing and talking, and I just kept telling the people it was not gone, and you know, people was like, it was like my voice wasn't heard at all. So I said, no one is hearing me. I am to the point of tears, screaming and mourning. People kicking it like they are at a fair while they still standing around the area, but don't take heed to the warning. I even tell loved ones, but I kept thinking about Lot's wife. And I know that I couldn't save them without putting myself in danger at that moment. Masses of people were there and still coming. I saw this guy. He was a Caucasian guy coming out of the store who turned to me as he kept seeing me yell, and he kept looking up, and he kept seeing, he was like, as like he was disturbed, like, what are they talking about, you know? And people were saying, did you see that large tornado? Did you see? And, you know, he was like, and I said, this thing, I said, it may be gone. It looked like it's gone, but it's not. I said, here, let me show you. So I began to, I saw this guy. He was, yeah, I told you he was Caucasian, who turned to me as I was warning people. He wanted to hear what I had to say. And when I showed him this thing reappearing as an invisible tornado, standing still above the masses, I mean, this thing was directly above the people while they were mocking and scorning and enjoying all their high technology and, you know, all their laughter. And I seen people in Gothic wear. I mean, just, you know, people with all their friends and hanging out as if they're at a swap meet or something. And this thing is standing still, but it is yet still a tornado, and it is invisible. I see it invisible, and it is directly over the people, and it's suspended in the air, hovering over the people. Now, I have never seen this before. Never in the whole time that God has been giving me messages have I ever seen that before. I mean, just however you can imagine it, that's exactly how it is that I saw it. It's just think about a tornado hovering above you, but it's not touching the ground yet. It had completely just sitting there above you, twirling until it is given the direction to do so, to come down. Okay, this thing is above them. And so when I showed it to this young man, he flipped out. He was trying to run so fast that his feet moved real fast on the ground that he wasn't going anywhere, like the Flintstones or like, you know, Scooby-Doo when they see a monster or whatever. He saw this thing and he said, oh my God. He fell down on his knees twice, got back up to try to run, and fell down again on his knees as to pray. And he turned around with fear in his face to run. I said, do you see now? He said, oh my God. Oh, you know, just frantic. Because if people could see this in raw form, if they could just stop for a moment in their busy world, in their technology, in their sexual perversion, and all their sins of the world and everything, they can see it. Okay? I mean, this is the way it is in my dream. And you know, this young man couldn't get his balance to run fast enough. So he was shaken to see it over the people after the wind was silent. This disaster is already before you without eyes to see and ears to hear. It will be a tragedy, literally and spiritually. Okay, so it is more to come in the Northeast and in the West. Pray and ask God to reveal what this dream that I've had, confirm it in your heart or reveal it to you, what I have seen. But you know, God has already shown me what this is. This is disaster coming from both ends again. But this, when I seen them both, they both shook me at the core. Okay, it is so shaking. It has shaken me in my heart, and it had me shaking. I couldn't stop shaking even after I got through writing it. Okay, so I don't know what's coming, but I do know what the Lord has given me, what I have seen, and I know that tornadoes represent disasters, and there's one coming from the Northeast and one coming from the West, and I will be sure to put up my verses. I've already got them, but my time, I've been talking the whole 20 minutes. So, well, God bless. And please, if you have not received salvation, please do so today. It is right now. It's not when you straighten up or when you're going to stop drinking or when you're going to stop smoking. It is right now. Come as you are. Have a blessed day.